everybody. Tim in the house with Marvin Daniels. Marvin, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm great. Phenomenal. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And good to see all of you happy viewers, happy subscribers, happy non-subscribers. Marvin and I have been teasing something for almost like a month now, Marvin, I think. Marvin and I both have decided that we want to get deeper into this SP thing, deeper into it. And we've been throwing back and forth a lot of ideas over the last few weeks, and we've kind of come up with something that we think is very exciting and potentially transformative for people who want to do it. And in this video, we're going to discuss what it is for the first time. And before I kick it over to Marvin, because Marvin has a very good overview of kind of what we have in mind, I want to mention that what makes Marvin and I different, and there's quite a few things that make us different when it comes to this SP stuff, but the main thing that comes to mind, and I've mentioned this before, and we've talked about it over the last, the videos we've done recently together, is that Marvin and I coach. We're into coaching people, not just through, manifest your SP overnight or SP situations, but we're into coaching people in terms of doing inner work to transform your life and changing your life from the inside out. We're into that. And I don't know many people in the law of assumption community, let alone the SP community, who are really into coaching. Because coaching means integrating, which is what you always hear me talk about on my channel. And it means being honest with yourself and taking time working on yourself. And yeah, Marvin and I were, before we went live, we were talking about this, but Marvin, I just want to throw that over to you. This idea of taking time, because that's something that we both think is essential for any type of, work when it comes to SP stuff. But it also is something that baffles both of us, because it seems like most quote unquote SP coaches, who are not real coaches usually,
Right.
they make it seem like you're going to do a session or two with them and all your problems are going to be resolved and your SP is going to run back to you. And like, this is such a bowl of bullshit. I don't think either of us can get over how much nonsense it is.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And I have, excuse me, I have a video that I'm going to be putting out, my next video, and I am talking about the comment that was left about the Be Something Wonderful guy, and how he promised the client, you should see movement in 48 hours. And the guy didn't see movement in 48 hours. And it just so happened that his person went on 8 months later, he found out she moved on and got married. And so I want a lot of you guys to understand how watered down this manifestation stuff, especially behind an SP. I want you to understand what I'm willing to say 90%, in my opinion, of coaches on YouTube, they're not actually coaching you. And it is imperative that we get back to real coaching. We live in a microwave generation where everybody's attention span is taking a massive hit, whether you are a child, whether you are a teenager, whether you are a full-blown adult. Everybody's attention span is literally taking a massive blow with the creation of TikTok, then Instagram stealing TikTok's method, and then now YouTube stealing TikTok and Instagram's method with these reels. Our attention span is going down. So we can't even watch a 15-minute video. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, whether you have 1 million subscribers, whether you have 500,000 subs, whether you have 2 million subs, everybody that has a YouTube channel, and Tim can attest to this, most people don't even get through half of the video. Most people do not even get through half of the video. If you get through half of the video, that's like God level on YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel and you watch, there's a 10-minute video and you watch 5 minutes of it, that's literally God level, because people attention span are so terrible that they never, and it doesn't matter who the YouTuber is. It's not if you have a small channel, a medium channel, or a big channel. These stats are all across the board. I see big YouTubers talking about their analytics and telling people, hey, I watched the analytics and my analytics are showing me that you guys are not subscribing. And also you guys are not watching my videos. So you better watch and subscribe. And so that tells me that most people have no attention span. And this SP stuff is going down that same route because you guys are getting seriously influenced by coaches and teachers of this stuff. And they're taking Neville's words and twisting Neville's words and making it sound like that, oh, Neville said, if you do it this way, just as Neville said, you're going to get your SP overnight. When clearly, Neville has said in his lectures, in his books, that the gestation period is unknown. So if you ever talk to a coach and they make it sound like, oh, I'm going to give you 4 affirmations to repeat, and then you should expect movement within 7 days or within 72 hours. It's complete BS. Do not listen to them. Do not believe them, because even Neville himself said it. It's unknown. Neville himself went through periods. I forget, and Tim may know this. There was one of Neville's books, because I always get his books confused. There was one of Neville's manifestations that took a couple of years. It was something to do with his brother, I think it was. I don't remember the exact story, but this just goes to show you that, this idea of quick fix manifestation, putting your manifestation in the microwave for 30 seconds and then popping it out, and then it's going to be ready. It's not true. It's not true. It's erroneous thinking, because so many of us are inundated with fast results. We want to be entertained fast. Hence the reason I was talking about reels earlier. We just want what we want when we want it. We live in a society where this is just how it's going. But understand, manifestation, especially when it comes to relationships, it's not going to be that fast. And so Tim and I, our plan is to bring back real coaching, because what most SP coaches won't tell you is because they just want to get your money. What real coaching is going to take a long time. Real coaching most likely is going to take at least 6 months to maybe a year. I think working with Tim and myself, you could probably get results in that time or less, because we're going to help flip the game and help you really see and really get results. But the reason why coaching takes so long for a lot of people is because they're not getting real coaching. The reason why in that last video we put out, Tim and I, the young lady was told that she could expect results or movement in 3 weeks. And then it turns out 2.5 years she was stuck. And then she found out her person moved on and got engaged and got a baby on the way. Is because she didn't get real coaching. They didn't tell her the truth. They didn't tell her what to really expect. And this industry is really lacking real coaching down to the core of all of your problems, because you cannot put a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. And essentially what all of these SP coaches are doing is they're giving you a Band-Aid. You've been shot in this arm, shot in this arm. You've been shot in your heart. You've been shot in your head. And they're saying, oh yeah, here's 4 affirmations, AKA 4 Band-Aids. Just repeat these and you're going to get your SP back. No, for 90+% of the people on the planet, it is not going to work that way. I don't care who you see on TikTok, who you see on YouTube, who you see on Instagram. It is not going to work that quick for most of us. So Tim and I are in the process of putting together this amazing opportunity to do a big deep dive into SP coaching. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well said. It's what we are going to offer, and again, we're trying to fine tune it, but what we are going to offer is something that is not in this SP space. And if anybody knows, but Marvin and I don't know everything that's going on YouTube, or let alone TikTok or Instagram about this. If people know of other SP coaches that are actually offering in-depth, integrative coaching, by all means, let us know, because we would love to partner with them or to have them on to interview them, because there needs to be more coaches like that. That's the whole point. Someone that I'm coached by who does, basically works with spiritual coaches and people who want to integrate spirituality into their business models. He makes a really good point that almost everybody you see on Instagram or YouTube that has a lot of followers these days, with this kind of microwave generation of just taking stuff in quickly, almost all these people including all of these SP and manifesting law of assumption people, are influencers. They are influencers. Sammy
Right.
Ingram herself, who I like in many ways, she calls herself proudly an influencer, or at least she did. I don't know if she still does. She's like, I want to be an influencer.
Right.
An influencer is not a fucking coach. Marvin and I are not influencers. We are going to change your fucking life and help you fix your romantic relationship. And we are willing to basically put a guarantee on it. And Marvin and I do not put cheap guarantees on things, you know? And we're thinking, I don't know, Marvin, if you want to say, this is not, don't quote us on this yet, but we're planning on working, you know, as Marvin said, at least for 6 months with people, if not a year. And we've been throwing out this idea that if for some reason you do not have transformational results within a year, we will work with you for another year for free.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about, you know, because this is not Band-Aid material. SP stuff is not Band-Aid material. It's self-concept work, and it's getting real with who you are, loving yourself more and loving other people more. And it's really gratifying work. And it's, you know, Marvin and I really enjoy working with people on it because it's wonderful, but it ain't no joke. So, yeah, we got this questionnaire, right, Marvin? We're working on this questionnaire. We would like people to fill this out if this sounds interesting to them. We're going to link below to this questionnaire in the description. If for some reason you don't see it or it doesn't make sense, you can just, you know, you can contact us. But yeah, the questionnaire is basically so we get a sense of what people are looking for when it comes to getting serious SP coaching. So we can best serve you. You know, you can fill out the questionnaire, and then, you know, if you filled it out, Marvin and I gladly will then talk to you to see if we can help you by, you know, going deeper with these ideas. Anything?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
you
no,
want to say
for
about
sure.
the questionnaire? Anything in terms of people filling it out, or?
Yeah, I just think it's imperative because, like we were saying, people want quick results, you know, and the reality is a lot of you guys think that working with a coach once or twice is going to solve all your problems, and 9 times out of 10, it's not going to solve all your problems. You know, going to multiple coaches most likely isn't going to solve your problems, because Tim and I have worked with people who have worked with multiple coaches, but, you know, most people go to the shiny object. So it's extremely important to understand that when you really want to dive deep into these laws, the law of assumption, law of attraction, law of duality, you know what I mean, polarity, all of these things, it's going to take time. I know you guys want to get results overnight, and I know a lot of these TikTok coaches and YouTubers are promising you results overnight, but the reality is it's a process for majority of the people, especially the more trauma you have. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about trauma and shadow work. I've seen quite a few YouTubers. Tim mentioned Sammy earlier. A lot of YouTubers, they talk about, oh, you don't have to do shadow work. You don't have to do shadow work. Tell that to the person that was 10 years old that got assaulted. Tell that to the 15-year-old that got assaulted. Why can't people visualize sometimes? Because every time they close their eyes, they see the original sin of them getting assaulted. This stuff goes deep, and which is why Neville talks about revision, because revision, the reason the Neville had a quote that went something along the lines of, evil is caused from the unrevised scenes of the past. Evil is caused because you keep thinking about whatever the original sin was that you went through 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20, 40, 50, whatever, however many years ago in your situation. That is the cause of sin. And sin being whatever you're living right now is because you keep remembering the sins of the past. And so that's why Neville said to revise the end of the day, revise every day to how you wished it would have gone. Revise those bad things that happened to you in the past. This is why Neville talks about that. And people don't like to admit it, but I tell people all the time, shadow work is revision. It's a different name. It's Neville doesn't call it shadow work, but shadow work is essentially revision. So all of these Neville people out here talking about Neville didn't teach to do shadow work. Neville, yes, he did. You guys got to understand how they talked in the 1930s, 40s, 50s was different than how we talk in the 90s and in the 2000s and up until now. So revision, in my opinion, is another form, is another word of shadow work. Two different words, same meaning. And so Tim and I are really, the whole point of our program is to help you guys figure out and get down to the bottom of why can't you visualize? When you say, I hear so many people say, oh, I can't visualize. That's not my strength. Well, why is it not your strength? And then you hear people say, oh, why I can't, I'm not good at writing stuff down. Why isn't that? Tim and I are here to help you go all the way back to childhood, go all the way through adolescent years, teenage years, early adult years. So all the points in your life to help you really peel back and revise these layers and to deal with whatever really hurt you so that you will get optimal results. Because one thing that Tim and I, like Tim said, we can guarantee is I can guarantee you that you will come out of this year-long program. And like Tim said, if not a year, we'll give you an extra year for free. You will come out of this program transformed for a fact. You will 100% come out transformed, and you will look at, you will have a healthy outlook on relationships. Whether you get your SP back, you might get your SP back, or you may find somebody new. But I guarantee whether you get your old SP back or whether you get a new SP, I guarantee this is going to be the best relationship that you have ever had. And it's going to be because of the work Tim and I have done with you to help you really heal and actually get coached on this stuff. So I'm looking forward to a lot of you guys filling out the questionnaire to get the answers on what you guys are looking for. So me and Tim can start pushing this thing forward, because me and Tim have already worked with at least a few hundred people, if not in the thousands now. And we can see it, we can sense it, we can smell it, that there's no real coaching behind this. And me and Tim are not about the Band-Aid stuff. We actually need, this stuff needs surgery. This stuff needs to go in with a knife, with a scalpel, with the gouge, and all of the paperwork and everything involved. This is no Band-Aid fix. This is real surgery that Tim and I are going to do, because we really want you guys to have long-lasting relationships and get back whoever you want potentially, and let that be even healthier than it's ever been. So
thank you. Yeah, well said, Marvin. I mean, and again, I mean, this is not going to be a surprise if you're familiar with our channels. This is important. If you're just a Neville fanatic, please don't fucking fill out the questionnaire, because the truth of the matter is we love Neville, but to do this deep work for most of you, again, 90% plus, you're not just going to want to utilize Neville stuff. And Marvin and I know a bunch of other stuff that we can also utilize that's often going to be more effective. And as I've said a lot recently, there's a lot better relationship advice than the advice that Neville gives for a lot of you, a lot of the time. I don't have to mention Neville usually in order for your relationship to improve at all. And quite frankly, the people doing shadow work, a lot of that stuff's a lot more effective for people than revision ever is. So, we're going to use Neville in all the wonderful tools and teachings that we can, if it's helpful. But the reason we want you to fill out this questionnaire and talk about some of your past history in terms of have you gone to a manifestation coach before? Have you gone to therapy? How familiar are you with the law of assumption? Is because we want to also make sure we can provide you all the tools. And again, that's the kind of thing that no coach can provide you in just a session or two. You need to work with people longer term in order to see profound results usually. And that's what makes this, this option different. So again, we're really looking forward to getting going with it.
And remember this too. If you don't have the patience to sit through a 10 or 15-minute video or 20-minute video, how do you expect to have the patience to manifest an SP back? Exactly. Or a new SP? I want you to think about that. A lot of you guys don't finish videos, don't have the patience to watch a full 5-10-minute video, 15-minute video, but then you expect to get your SP overnight. Patience. A lot of you were lacking patience. Just that one thing, just the change in mindset around time and patience alone will help a lot of you move forward drastically. That's all I wanted to say, Tim.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, to be frank, that's the kind of thing that we can help people with too. I mean, that's why we're offering this, is because we want this to be the whole kit and caboodle. where we can talk about doing the mindset work that relates to giving yourself like the space and time to actually be able to complete tasks and to watch things and do things all the way through. But that's only for people who are serious and are sick of microwaving stuff and actually want to have a full meal, you know, and have a full romantic relationship. So thank you, Marvin. Yeah, the questionnaire will be below. We're looking very forward to this. Any questions, feel free to email Marvin or myself. Any parting words?
Nope, I think you said it all.
All right. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. All right.